Hopefully I'm back. Your picture quality is very fuzzy on YouTube. Seems going to join you on Facebook. Okay, so Gina's going to join us over on Facebook. This is, like I say, an entirely new setup. We are sorting out the network here at the moment so we can hook in. This is over Wi-Fi. So we might have, hopefully, not too many of those sort of glitches that we've just had. But fingers crossed, if it all goes to pot, I will come off, record it, and then pop it up on the Facebook channel exactly as I would do it. So Jenny says we're back. Gina's joined us over on Facebook, and it's better than YouTube. Okay, noted for the future. Maybe not a good one for YouTube. Anyway, before we have any more gremlins, let's get into what we're baking today. So I'm gonna press another button, and I'm hoping it's not gonna kill the internet connection. No! Hey! Just have to figure out where I'm standing as well. So today we're gonna be making a giant Smarties cookie. Now this is just something to ease us gently back in, to getting used to the kitchen. We've got new ovens to try out as well, which I have been trying and baking in over the last couple of weeks. So fingers crossed I might have cracked it. But also, so yeah, we're going to be doing a giant Smarties cookie. Now this is just something that's just, oh, soft, chewy, gooey, great big giant cookie stuffed full of Maltesers, of Smarties, full of chocolate chunks, and we're going to be making it in a big pan that you could serve and scoop out whilst it's still warm with vanilla ice cream drizzled all over the top and some extra chocolate sauce, or you can leave it to cool and then just serve it as slices with ice cream again after that. But we're going to be making it as one big one, and I was thinking about it last night, I'm also going to stuff it with some chocolate spread. You could use Nutella or something different like that, but we'll see how we go. I'm thinking we're not going to be doing that, and it's really 3 easy steps. We're going to make the cookie dough. It's the easiest thing. We're going to bake it, and then we're going to eat it. So that's sort of roughly what we're going to do, and let's try another one and hope we stay up. Yes, get those gremlins out. So we're also going to be then I popped the ingredients up before today, because I know some people like to then go out and do it or bake it that afternoon as well, or give it a try in the week. And with everything, sometimes I don't get the posts up straight away. It might be a couple of days or so. So I've started to pop the ingredients not only here but also in the post information, so you can go back in afterwards. But for our ingredients then, we're going to be using 225 grams of unsalted butter. We're going to add a little pinch of fine sea salt to that. Helps bring out the flavour, but you can use slightly salted butter if you prefer. We're also going to be using 200 grams of soft light brown sugar. This is light muscovado, but you can use normal soft light brown sugar. And we're also going to be adding in 100 grams of caster sugar. Now, the reason we're using 2 sugars is the caster sugar will make it really give you that crunchy bit as well on the edges, but also the brown sugar will help it keep it really nice and soft and chewy as well. This is the different ways the sugars work. We're going to also need a little bit of vanilla extract. This is our homemade one, and I have finally shot the pictures for that, so that will be up soon. But this I keep topping up from a large bottle I made, November time, I think, or September time, I can't remember. You're going to need 300 grams of self-raising flour. If you're in the States, we haven't got self-raising flour, you can use all-purpose or plain flour, and add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder to that as well. We're going to add a little bit of corn flour or cornstarch, and this again helps keep the cookie really nice and soft, but gives it that lovely cookie texture. Only need a little bit. And we've got a couple of eggs at room temperature. Again, as always, make sure your eggs are at room temperature. That helps bind everything together. They're not working against each other and all risk of curdling. We've also got the Smarties. I've got 125 grams. Now these bags are 118 grams. You can use the tubes. You can use the small ones, like the mini ones as well. I'm going to probably use a bag inside the cookie mix and then scatter some extra over the top. So they're those, and you can obviously use them in tubes if you can get it. We have some dark chocolate spelling mistakes. We're going to be using this instead of chocolate chips. For some extra chocolate inside the cookie dough. We're going to chop that up into shards. And then, like I said, we've got some chocolate spread, which we may or may not put in the center yet. So we've got a gooey center. For your equipment, you could make this in a pie dish if you wanted, or a big cast iron skillet, which a lot of people over in the States do. We're going to be making it in a springform tin. I want this to be quite deep, so it's more like it's a really good chunky cookie as a dessert. So I'm going to be doing mine in an 8-inch springform pan, or you can use a 9-inch, and it's just a little bit shallower. So these are the ones that we use for cheesecakes, and they've got the the clamp on the side will make it easier to get in and out. So that's those. Now, let's just rearrange things. I've got a ledge here so I can put stuff on there. We're also going to be using the stand mixer, the KitchenAid, which is just off the camera over here. But you can use a handheld mixer if you prefer, or if your butter's really nice and soft, you can do this by hand and get some good arm workouts going through. So let's just pop everything to one side. And fingers crossed, so long as all is working well, we may or may not. I'm going to just see if I can get it up. She says, let's have a look. Let's see if this works. We've got a little split camera now with my phone. So whilst I'm doing stuff lower level, we might be able to have two sort of cameras going on. We can also put it full screen if we need to. So I'm hoping, let's just go back to those ingredients. That works, and actually I know from previous videos in the old house that the space is not so, we've got better space here, better light, so we should be able to see more, but if we need to, we can jump on that camera as well. So then let's just get things, oh, there we go. Still figuring out my position. Gina says that's awesome. It is. I did notice that I got a little Wi-Fi notification just as it popped up because the phone is going off the Wi-Fi as well. So we may or may not use it today, but if I can, I will do. But when we are fully connected in and we're back on the connected connection, once Ian's finished putting all the network cables in the house, knocking holes in my new walls, we'll be able definitely to get the two together. And I know you can also do it on USB. So it's something we want to try out and definitely get double the split across. But you know, let's get back to the matter in hand, and that's our cookies. So this morning we're going to start off by preheating our oven to about 165 degrees. You can do this at 180, but if you do it at 180, the cookie's going to bake a lot quicker. You're going to get a lot crispier edges and quite still soft in the middle. We want it to be chewy edges and a little bit soft in the middle. So about 160, 165 now. These ovens, again, I'm still learning everything at the moment in this house. And I'm just going to try and set this. So the ovens are all crazy on, there we go, all on an app. It's completely changing my life. And I'm going to preheat this to 165. So there we go. Oh, wrong oven, Louise. That'll be, yeah. Let's try and not do anything fancy. Turn you off. I want the top boil on. Let's do it by good old fashioned going over to it. And on. And I want hot eco and 160. There we go. Right. That's. Gina says you've gone very high tech, Lou. I have. It's very scary because the thing is with these ovens as well, it has a notification. So once it's finished and the timer's finished, it'll ping you, but it doesn't matter where you are, it'll ping you. So Ian is out on a bike ride at the moment So when this is finished preheating and when it's finished baking, you'll get notifications as well. It's very high tech, but there's a lot more things to go wrong. This is what I do on my downtime. Right, let's put the technical things aside and get cracking. So with our cookies then, first thing we want to do is pop our butter into our mixer. Now this is cubed, it's been out at room temperature, so it's nice and soft. You don't want to be using fridge cold butter here, not for this cookie. You want room temperature soft butter. So we're going to pop that on, and we're using the paddle attachment, and we're just going to be mixing this up now until it's nice and smooth and like it's started to sort of cream down before we add the sugar. So just doing its thing. It's a bit noisy today. So you're doing anything with salmon, you can start off slow and then bring the speed up. I think I said this before, I think my KitchenAid needs a service, but so this is just. Did you get the I'm saving up for one and it's Mother's Day? Oh. No, I didn't get the KitchenAid service. That's why it's a bit. Gina, I meant to. It's the one thing on the list I haven't done over the winter break. So no, it needs a little bit of a service, but it's not impeding performance. It's just a bit rattly. So, it is Mother's Day next Sunday, fingers crossed for you. I was looking at others over Christmas because there was some good deals, like the Kenwood K-Mix is really good as well. These do look pretty, I must admit, on your road surface. So what I just did then was I stopped and scraped the butter down just because it had started to clump, and that's now just mixing, turning through until it's nice and soft. That's better. And think like if you're making a buttercream, that's how you want your butter to be. And that sounds better because the weight distribution in the KitchenAid's a lot better. I'm going to get used to looking back at the camera again and not over at the laptop. Where we had before, the laptop was in front of the camera, but I can't have that here because you guys won't be able to see. So let's scrape down the butter again off the paddle there. And we're going to add in the sugars now. So this is 100 grams of caster sugar. You could use a vanilla caster sugar if you've made one. And then we've got 200 grams of light soft brown sugar. So this is light muscovado. You can just use normal light sugar if you want. And let's pop that in there. Do like this. As always, and welcome to feedback. We're going to sort out the internet issues, but yeah, I'm hoping that this setup is working better for you guys. It does for me. So we've got the sugars in there, the light brown and the golden caster sugar, and then we're going to cream them together, just as you would do if you're making a cake. Now, the reason we're going to cream this, and on other recipes we've melted the chocolate, we've melted the butter, is, I'm just trying to find my notes so I don't forget to tell you anything, is that it makes it a little bit more of a cakey texture. We don't want this dense in our pan. We want a nice still soft cookie, but not too cakey. So by creaming the butter and the sugar as such, it just helps give it, it doesn't become rock solid hard. So we're doing this on medium speed for a couple of minutes, and then we'll get ready with the next. So whilst actually this is doing, you've got your self-raising flour and a teaspoon of corn flour, and we're just going to add that to it and stir together. You also, when the ingredients aren't here, you can see all the washing up to the side. It's one of the things from the old house that we didn't have. You couldn't see the pile of washing up that was mounting. So that's just our self-raising flour and our corn flour mixed together. And let's give this a scrape down again. So as you can see, it's got, obviously because we've got brown sugar in there, but it's nice and soft. And it's started to all come together. You'll get this nice brown colour. So get as much as you can, oops, back into the bowl off your whisk. Ooh. Come on. And I'm just going to split this down. So what did she? I was going to say, with Easter coming up, this is also great. Yeah, Gina's making it with mini eggs today. With Easter coming up and you've got all the leftover treats inside, it's perfect for using up like the bits that you get inside the, oops, I don't want to tread on that, the bits that you get inside your Easter eggs, and in fact that's where the Smarties have come from, but I had to get some more because I did the cheesecake Easter eggs, which we'll be doing in a couple of weeks. That sounds amazing. With the mini eggs as well, do some, but then leave some on the top just to put in just before it gets finishes cooking, otherwise they go a strange colour. But yeah, that sounds amazing. Do send me a picture as well. As well when you've done it. Right, next on is, so we've creamed our butter and our sugar. We're going to then pop our eggs in. So we've got 2 medium eggs, room temperature. Don't want them to be too cold. So room temperature. Take them out of the fridge about 15 minutes before you are ready to use them, and they'll be around the right temperature. I take mine out the night before. So I've popped one in and I'm just going to beat that through, and it will start everything coming together. It helps bind things through. And just a moment on there. And then we're going to add the other egg in there. Let's get rid of that. And we're going to pop in as well with our last egg, a teaspoon of our vanilla extract. I can't get the bit. Oh, I'm having one of those days today. There we go. So a teaspoon, this still smells amazing, of our vanilla extract. And this is still just the one that I keep topping up from the main bottle with a couple of our vanilla beans in there. It's nice and dark now. It does smell amazing. So with our last egg and the vanilla extract, pop it in and give it another whiz. Bring it all together. And it may start to curdle, but don't worry if it does, because we're going to be adding flour. Gina says the vanilla extract is lasting so long for you. It is, but I also have a secret. I have a litre of it with about 15 vanilla pods tucked away in the cabinet over there. So once I get it to a certain level, I top this one back up. But that's the best way. So this is the one that I constantly use. It's got 2 pods in here as well, and then I have the one that's brewing, so to speak, in the dark, in the cool, with quite a lot of vanilla pods in, and it gives it sort of, I just top it up every now and then. Like I say, I have a blog post, I've finally taken the pictures. We have some amazing light in this kitchen. This side here is all is dining room, and we've got nice big windows, so it's a lot, there's a lot more light here, not just for this and room, but also for for taking photos as well, and things. But as Gina knows, she does her videos on YouTube in her kitchen as well to quickly shove everything in the cupboards. Oh dear. So this is our cookie dough to this point. So this is the butter, the sugar, the eggs, and the vanilla extract. So now we're going to add in the flour, and we're going to then fold this in gently on low speed. But I'm going to do a little bit at a time. So I'm just going to put about 1/3 in there. So that's the self-raising and the corn flour. I'm just going to fold that through. I'm folding it through and doing this on low speed with the mixer helps the gluten not form too quickly, so we still get that nice soft cookie through. I'm doing this by hand first. Just get it in. If you feel like it's really dry, you can add, oops, I have some here, but I'm not going to use it. You can add a drop of milk, just a drop, about 1/2 teaspoon or so, a little at a time. Don't make it wet because it will become too sticky. So, there we go. I was waiting for the old cannon to decide to turn off. That's something I can't fix. So that's the last of the flour in. And just folding it through by hand. So we're sort of like this. And scrape the excess off the spatula. I'm going to pop that back on the stand mixer on low, just for a moment. It doesn't need long at all. So that's just there. I'm just going to pop that to one side for the moment, and then we're just going to put in our filling. So we're going to be putting in a bag of these guys. There's 118 grams in here. So I don't know if I can. Oh, should we go with a full view for the moment, just so you can see what I'm doing? There we go. So this is 118 grams. It's a bag. I say about 125, depends what you've got. You can open up the second bag if you want. Oops, let's just switch some of that off there. So you can see it's quite, we didn't need the extra milk on that. It's quite a gooey dough. So we're going to add in all of our Smarties. I think I might want to add the other bag actually. But we're also going to add in some dark chocolate chops. So you could use chocolate chips if you want. I quite like using chopped shards of dark chocolate. So it's about 50 grams. You can add more if you want. So just gonna, and again, this is one you can do with the kids. You know, the flour, once you get to that section, is something that they can do and stir in by hand. If you're chopping chocolate, obviously, I would suggest not to. Small people use chocolate chips instead. When you're chopping chocolate, make sure you don't lift it too high and you don't just do it with the knife. Ease it down onto it. Some big chunks in there. Okay. So I'm going to add these into our mix as well. Let's just use the other side of the spatula. Morning, Emmy, I've just seen your message. Good morning, lovely. I hope you're well. So let's just get rid of that. For someone that likes their kitchen really clean and tidy, having you guys see where the sink area is quite daunting. Oh dear. So I'm just gonna scrape my spatula back down with any excess in there into the bottom. And Gina says that's better. So yeah, without the ingredients. I quite like leaving the ingredients up, but we'll do a split between the two as well. So this is now, I don't want to crush the Smarties or anything, so that's just mixing them through. Oh, look at the cookie dough. I'm feeling a little bit adventurous, so I'm going to add in, I'm going to save some for the top, but just a squidge more through. I'm glad you're well, Amy. I am, yes. I will be. When I'm still figuring out a new kitchen. Right. So this is our cookie dough then. As you can see, just going to get some of that. Let's get it back in the bowl. It's nice and it's pliable, it's soft, it's gooey, but it's not stiff. It's quite, when we pop it into our tin, it's not going to be too difficult to use. So let's get all of that off there. Now you can use this cookie dough recipe for regular cookies if you want. You could make just a giant, like the ones you get in the supermarket as well. In the bags, you could use this for that. When you do it, just scoop it with a spoon or an ice cream scoop, and then just pop it onto a lined baking tray, and you want to make sure there's sort of good couple of inches between them spread apart, because they will spread when they're cooking. Emmy says she's going to be making a strawberry mascarpone cheesecake together. That sounds amazing. So Gina's making a mini-egg version of this, and you're making a strawberry mascarpone cake together. Oh, crikey, that sounds really good. And I started my healthy eating on Monday, so I'm having none of this. It's all for you. Wow, that looks yummy. It does, and it smells amazing as well. So we've got that chocolate, the chocolate and the brown sugar in there, and the Smarties and the butter and everything. Right. So we're just going to leave this then for the moment. Let's get rid of the KitchenAid and things. And next up, so next up is we're going into our tin. So we've got the, we're going to be using an 8-inch springform because I want it a little deeper, but you can use a 9-inch as well, and it won't be so, excuse me, so deep, but it depends how much you want to make for it for serving. So we're going with an 8 and some hiccups, so just grab a quick sip. Now, like our cheesecakes, we don't want, we want to be able to get this out of the pan, and you've got your little ridge in your cheesecake pan. So we're going to align it. Let's get that out with, I don't need to get this out. However, I do know where things are. We're going to align it with some kitchen greaseproof paper, baking parchment, and we just want a square that will go over the top there. So, I'm not going to need all of that. Figure out where I'm going. I'm still trying to figure out where I put things in this kitchen. I've still got a box of cake tins that I've not packed away yet or anything like that because I don't know where they're going. So with the cheesecake then, with the springform pan, just like we did with the cheesecake, just pop your parchment over the top, pop your springform as well, and then just clamp it. Ooh. Just come up a little bit on that side. Oh, come on. No. That's not what we want. Make sure it's in. I shouldn't have taken it off. It was fine the first time. There we go. There we are. We're in. So if you want to, you can take off the little skirts from around the edge. You don't have to if you don't want to. Yes, Amy says, really love baking. It's so easy to be bad and just make something full of chocolate and yummy. I totally agree. I totally agree. And that's half of what this problem is. Luckily, the other half is able to eat everything and not worry too much. So this next bit then, we're going to put a layer of the cookie dough in. We're going to press it down. And then we're going to add, I'm thinking I'm still going to do it. I'm going to add a layer of the chocolate spread, or you can add Nutella, and then we'll put another layer of the cookie dough on the top. So everybody says, oh, you can do this with a spatula. I have never managed to get it to a point where I like it with the spatula. So I'm just going to ease out through there. Push it down. Now, you don't have to put the filling in, you don't have to do any of that. You can just leave it as a giant cookie. You could do this in a tart tin as well if you wanted to, if you wanted a pretty fluted edge and stuff. So I'm just gonna, oh, you know it's cookie dough when it just is perfectly. Now this is the time when I should be using the old iPhone cam, isn't it? But, wondering, probably. Let's see if we can do that. I'll put this one layer in. Just want a little bit more in the corner there. Don't forget, you know, your cookie dough will spread out really nicely as well. So you could do this with a spoon or my trusty angled spatula. I'm finding with this dough today, it's probably easier to do it as I am with the spoon. Pop that back in there. So this is our first layer of the cookie dough. Oh, fab! Do you want an offset spatula as per recommendation? I love it. It's great. They are fantastic. I just think with the cookie dough, it's probably a little bit too, it's not sticky, but cookie dough is quite stiff. So you might find it easier to have something that you've got a bit more purchase on. So like the spoon, not necessarily the rubber spatula, but the spoon or wooden spoon, you could give it a go. That you can get bigger ones, but I love an offset spatula. So we're going to then pop in some of our chocolate spread. Get a couple of teaspoons. And again, you can do this, you could warm it a little bit, it might be easier, but we're just going to pop it in dollops, but not too much. You can get various ones. This is just an own brand one. You could do this with Nutella. You could do this with Nutella and peanut M&Ms. Obviously, I can't. I'm not allergy, so but yes. You could do that instead. Have some Nutella in there. You could have a chocolate caramel one or a white chocolate one. There's all sorts. In fact, I think I saw a unicorn one the other day for my nephew who adores unicorns. You know, you could put that. You could put a unicorn spread in. I think it's like a raspberry flavour. So. As you can see, I've just put like 3 good heaped teaspoons in there as well. And I'm just going to show you. So this is a bit like when we did the Nutella stuffed cookie bars last autumn, I think. Or was it summer? I can't remember. So that was a good 4 spoonsful. And as you can see, it's just in the middle there. I haven't gone right to the edge because we're going to seal that in with the rest of the cookie dough, and we don't want it to spread out and crack through the sides. So this is the last bit before. So I'm just going to then pop over the rest of the cookie dough. Now, because I don't want to spread that chocolate spread too far out, I'm doing it in, this is when I should have put the phone camera on, apologies. I'm doing it in lumps around the edges, and then I'll bring it back into the center and things. So, I don't want to push that chocolate spread to the edge too much. So this is something, like Emmy was saying, you know, you can make something full of chocolate and yumminess and you want to eat it, and totally something that, yes, I want to eat. I might go for an extra long walk today and have a slice. And it's best if you can, depending on what you're doing and when you're making it, you're serving it warm with a little bit of vanilla ice cream on the top. If you've got a big group of you, you could serve it warm in the pan and pop everything straight on top of it. A little bit of chocolate sauce, a little bit of vanilla ice cream, and just dig in, you know, like you see in the movies when everybody's crowding around having a group dessert. So what I'm just doing now is I've taken as much of the dough out as I can, and I popped it around the edge of the the chocolate spread, and then I'm just now, as you can see at this edge, filling through here, and then I will bring the rest of it back into the center as go. Just want to make sure I've got that sealed so it doesn't go breaking out the edges. And the cookie dough will spread anyway. Now this is a grease-proof, non-stick, not grease-proof, spring-form pan, but you can, if you want to, line it completely. If you're doing it in a pie tin or a flan, you know, like a quiche dish, make sure to give that a good grease to make sure it doesn't sort of, you can get it out. So here we think we might be ready. Let's just see if there's any more that we can get out. Just pop that in there. And again. So there we have it. We are ready to go in. So we've popped our layer. First layer, our core of chocolate spread or Nutella or whatever. And then you can, then we've popped the final layer of the cookie dough on the top. And we started on the edge to seal in those edges so the chocolate spread doesn't go that way. And then we've pulled it back into the center. So this is now going in the oven at 160, 165 for about 30 to 35 minutes. Depends how you like your cookie. 30 to 35 minutes is going to make sure you've got a nice soft but chewy edge. It's still probably a little bit soft in the middle. So if you're serving it straight away, that's the one. And then you pile it full of ice cream and chocolate sauce and you all dig in. So if you like your cookie with a little bit of chewy on the edge, but it's still a bit soft in the middle, a bit like the New York style cookies that we did before Christmas, that's sort of your temperature you want, your bake time, sorry, that you want to go to. I would say a maximum of 40 minutes though. Any more than 40 minutes and it's going to start to go dry and crunchy, hard on the edges rather than nice and soft and chewy. So this is going in, fingers crossed, new oven, and let's see, no, not that one, 35 minutes. I will get used to these things, like, soon. There we go. It's why I meant to do on the phone. So that's in now. So that's 35 minutes probably in there for me. And then it'll be out and we can finish it off and stuff. So yeah, Gina says it looks so good. It does. It smelled that really sugary, caramelly, chocolatey cookie smell of dough before I popped it in. So yeah, so this is it. I mean, what I'm going to do is you have to wait for this guy to cook, and then obviously I'll take it out and I'll pop some pictures up, and I'll show you what he looks like when he comes out, and taking him out of the pan, I'll pop that up on the Facebook Live page. But I'm hoping this went all right for the first one. Let's go back to see what we've done. So today we've made a giant Smarties cookie. 3 easy steps: make the cookie dough, bake it, and eat it. I mean, you can't say any better than that. But it's a really simple creaming the butter and the sugar cookie dough with adding eggs and the flour, and then our fillings. It is really easy. It's really good fun to do with kids. I'm just looking at a thing of Smarties. I was going to pop a few extra on the top. It's in now, so just before it, about 10 minutes or so before it finishes, whilst it's still soft, I'm going to scatter and just pop some of these in the top so they don't discolor when they bake. So yeah, I just looked at the Smarties thinking, oh, we're meant to do something with them. But it's a good one for the kids. It's a good one as a sharing dessert, or just something different for movie nights or whatever, just getting around. Really good for an Easter treat as well. Gina's doing it with mini eggs, and I wholeheartedly and totally endorse doing it with mini eggs as well. You could make a chocolate orange one with I saw Terry's are doing chocolate orange eggs, like mini ones, and Smarties do orange ones, like just orange chocolate, orange Smarties as well. So there's lots of different things that you could mix it up. So it's there's lots of things to do. You could do it with peanut M&Ms and pop a Nutella spread in, or even like a chocolate peanut butter mixture as well. So there's all sorts of things to do. Ingredients wise, really simple. Like I say, we used unsalted butter with a little bit of fine sea salt again, or you can use a slightly salted butter, soft brown sugar, and the caster sugar. It gives you that little bit of crunch, that little bit of chew, that texture in the cookie. A couple of eggs, some vanilla extract, and we use self-raising flour rather than an all-purpose or a plain flour. And the reason being is we don't want it to be heavy. There's a lot of cookie dough in there, and we don't want it to be too dense and heavy. So using a self-raising flour just gives it a little, helps that little lightness. So if you can't get hold of self-raising flour and you're using all-purpose or plain, you want to be adding about 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder to the mix. Excuse me. We've used Smarties and dark chocolate. You could use M&Ms and chocolate chips or however, and then the chocolate spread. Really, really simple. Gina says, will you be back on Wednesday or next Sunday? I will be back on next Sunday. I'm still trying to get sort of sorted things around here, and the rest of the house is still full of boxes. So I've still got a lot to do. There's a lot of cleaning to do. I've got we inherited a house that needed a lot of cleaning. So I've been cleaning most weekends and most evenings so far with quite a lot of antihistamines. The previous owners had a cat, so when I've been cleaning various rooms, it's pulled up a lot of cat hair, and my asthma hasn't been very happy. Lots of antihistamines going on. Anyway, so yes, it will be next Sunday, and next Sunday is Mothering Sunday, and we'll be doing macarons. So let's go over to the end. So yes, next Sunday is Mothering Sunday here in the UK. Later in the year in the US, it's also my grandma's birthday as well, bless her, and we'll be doing macarons. I know loads of people have asked for them. They're a beautiful treat. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and make a batch on the Saturday before, so we've got a batch that we can use, and I can show you what they look like once they're baked. But we'll be going through the process of getting them to the stage of where we want them ready to pop into the oven, and then we'll talk about fillings and things as well. So we'll be talking more around the macaron shell, how we're making it, the different techniques, why I use one and not the others, and a few bits and pieces around that as well. But in the meantime, this guy is in the oven. I'm going to let you guys go because it is a beautiful sunny day here today again. You might be able to see now actually the other window. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your feedback and all the information that we talked about in terms of setup. If there is any, please let me know. But I hope wherever you are in the world, as always, you are safe and well, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.